Welcome back for the North American LCS for our final game of the day is OpTic Gaming versus Golden Guardians. Kobe. It's going to be a spicy one. We've waited all day for what actually should be quite a fun matchup.
All right, are you talking like jalapeno spicy or habanero spicy?
That is too complicated for me. Let's go with jalapeno because that's a safe choice. Time to get things rolling by looking at the starting rosters, selecting blue side. It's OpTic Gaming. In the top lane, Dokla. In the jungle, Arcadian. Mid, Power of Evil. Bot, Arrow. Support, Big. And their coach, Zabutin.
And facing them on the jalapeno side is the Golden Guardians. In the top lane, Lorlo. Jungle, Contracts. Mid, Mickey. Bottom, Deftly. Support, Matt. And Coach Tyler on stage.
And if you remember the first time these teams clashed, we cautioned that this might be the only win either of these teams could pick up. But now they're actually vying for playoff positioning.
Fools in the past. It really is not by luck that OpTic won yesterday. A lot of times in the past, people criticize OpTic for, being one step away from being able to get the win or whatever. But yesterday was full control for this team. They outplayed in macro. They did not make mistakes for the majority of the team. And to top it all off, Dokla was the one highlighted here. He was Fiora. It was the counter pick. They gave away Aatrox. It was all about using the early teleports to cover for him and allowing him to scale later into the game.
On the other side, the Golden Guardians have been playing with their own bit of flair, but it is sometimes to their own detriment.
Yeah, yesterday, the Golden Guardians created a big lead for themselves, and then they threw that lead away. They did not have the attention to detail to put down vision while they were ahead to allow them to get the picks or allow them to set up around Baron. However, how they did get that lead in the first place oftentimes is off of contracts. He's the jungler with the highest team jungle proximity for non-funneling games, which is going to throw the numbers all through the loop there. But it was specifically yesterday with a level 2 gank mid. And that was interesting to me because Power of Evil is very clearly the center point for OpTic. He is the star player. He is in the mid lane. Very possible that Contracts does throw a lot of his early pressure towards that mid, especially since he loves getting those early fighting junglers and going for the ganks.
Well, unfortunately, Deftly's Hyman's win rate did dip a little yesterday after their loss, but he did look quite good, and also so OpTic respectfully going to be banning that one away. They'll also take out Talia as Golden Guardians stick with the Red Side Classics from our last few patches. Aatrox and Nocturne will get taken off, and Swain also going to be taken off the board. Another pretty popular champion that's seen a lot of bans lately.
Yeah, it's pretty funny too how Golden Guardians and Deftly have, every time that he gets Heimerdinger, they're like, you should ban Heimerdinger against me, you should ban Heimerdinger. Like, they kind of want this ban to go through, especially when they are on red side, to kind of soak up and absorb some of the pressure in Champion Select. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to have as far as the red side game plan, because they have had a bunch of blue side games in a row, which made it a lot easier for them to pick these champions that they really excelled with. Get Mickey on either the Talon or the Zoe, and Contracts on the early game jungler, and then Deftly also was able to get his Heimerdinger. This time around, it's not going to be quite that case, but some pretty powerful picks as well, especially in that Kindred.
Yeah, first pick Varus leads to Jhin plus Kindred for Golden Guardians. And with kind of Zoe banned away, I kind of like what OpTic are doing here, taking away a marksman. Varus seems to be a pretty strong one, and Arrow especially, a champion he's comfortable with. Going to round that out with Braum in the bot lane, and taking Grapes for Arcadian just to pick, match the aggressive jungle matchup. So,
yeah, speaking of Arrow and the Varus, to me, when Arrow first made his move over to the North American LCS, Varus was the best looking champion for him. He had very high accuracy with his piercing arrows, with the poke, as well as his ultimate, and he was able to stay safe on a champion that does not have a dash of its own. So very curious to see if Arrow can still shine as bright as he used to when he first joined the league on the champion. Going up against Deftly's Jhin, because I love Jhin right now. He can get so much speed with the Storm Razor into rapid fire build, whether he takes the hail of arrows or whether he takes the fleet footwork, going for the damage or going for another source of speed.
Here's kind of another deviation for Golden Guardians. Gangplank actually picked up for Lolo. He's played it quite a few times already in this split. And now they're going to start banning away counter matchups. They're taking Jace away from Zokla. With support still on the table, they'll take Morgana away. That does make Braum a lot more powerful in the 2v2. And then Joker's Camille also taken off the board. So Golden Guardians doing a lot with this second phase to set up Lolo's matchup.
Yeah, Lorlo there on the top side with Gangplank, trying to protect him as far as champions that will kill him early on. The most common matchup that we have seen, of course, is the Mundo into Gangplank over and over again. That may very well be the case, as they've opted to ban things like the Camille that will pressure early, and the Jace, as you said, that can really get the early game off the ground for OpTic. Meanwhile, Golden Guardians setting up with a lot of AD threats, but no AP threats as well. So they might have to think about that as they finish up their draft phase here. Grab a tank, and grab a good AP source maybe there for Mickey in the mid lane.
Yep, they're going to give him counter pick by the looks of things. So support Shen is the assumed lock in there for Matt. Kind of adding to some of their global pressure with the Gangplank. Well, let's see what OpTic finish off their draft. Gonna have to be a pretty safe blind pick here for Power of Evil, but hey, Oriana's up. You could take that.
Yeah, great blind pick, as everyone has been jumping on the Oriana train. I do kind of like what Golden Guardians are doing, like you're talking about with the double globals there.
Really?
Gangplank.
And there's the Yorick.
Yeah, Yorick. Okay, so Yorick is a very strong split pushing champion. Can also go for, if he can close melee range on Gangplank, go for the pressure there. So we may see Acadian on the Graves up on the top side quite often. Now again though, because of the double globals, I was about to say, I like that they can cover each other. So if Golden Guardian's bottom lane is able to hit level 6, and York is doing the split pushing on top, and Acadian's lending extra pressure there, as Graves should have the burst advantage, then they can use Shen, teleport with the Stand United, and try and turn that around.
The Power of Evil move, if I've ever seen one, by the way. Oriana's up, he's like, nah, give me Victor instead. Kind of maybe even baiting Mickey into picking RA. Mickey says, nope, I don't think so. Time to play LeBlanc.
I mean, Power of Evil started the 3-0 run for OpTic, the win streak that they are on, with his Victor. Absolutely smashing, hard carrying, flashing into the back line of the enemy. This is signature champion for him. And OpTic Gaming are definitely on a hot streak, and they want to keep it going.
For both these teams, pretty pivotal point in the standings as they end week 6. One of them will be even as they still look to push through in these last remaining weeks.
Can OpTic make it a 4-0 run, literally the week after they got their first ever 2-0 week? Definitely, they're riding high right now, and tied with the Golden Guardians. This is definitely a huge one with implications for the standings, heading into playoffs and the big race.
Well, race has been on for a while, but certainly we'll see what transpires here in this game. Coaches are going to give their last remarks and shake hands. Pretty interesting draft, I have to say. I think both teams kind of got what they wanted. Very curious to see, of course, how some of the more flavorful picks work out. Victor is something we have seen from PoE, but always nice to watch. But Yorick and LeBlanc being in the game is not exactly what I would have expected today.
Well, I mean, we talked about mid-lane ganks, right? From the Golden Guardians perspective, LeBlanc is huge at setting up ganks. You get a distortion, you can easily set up some crowd control with the chain. Either forcing a cleanse or a flash out of the Victor. And either of those being forced out would definitely cause him to have to play much further back and give up a little bit more CS. So this Kindred versus Graves matchup in the jungle is going to determine a lot for the laning phase for these two compositions. And we'll see how they're able to get an early advantage. I do like the early sweeper here from Acadian because you can try and sweep away one of those early defensive wards that people often put around the Scuttle Crabs. And if you feed the experience over to one of your solo laners, they can get level 2 off of the first wave and give you a very big early trading advantage and allow you to take control of the minion wave.
So Mickey is going to get spotted just barely sneaking into the brush on the right-hand side of mid, but otherwise everyone's just fanned out pretty cleanly trying to guard these entrances. So perhaps Acadian will not get to take down the trinket that he's looking for. In fact, none of them have been used at this juncture. But there's always time. Team's just going to kind of wait it out for a little bit longer.
Yeah, very defensive ward, actually. Not even down by the Scuttle Crab or even the ramp entrance here for Golden Guardians. It's up in the red buff brush. So unless Acadian, went in a very risky blind invade there to clear that, it looks like they aren't going to get use out of that sweeper. And he's just going to have to start on the red side here. Graves with early red can definitely contest and control Scuttle Crab. So we'll see if Acadian makes his way early on into the river.
I like the use of Ghost Power there as well for Acadian. Dropped it in the Pixel Brush, just right of the left-hand crab. So going to start on red, gets a bit of help there from Arrow and Big. And looks like Golden Guardians walk down to the lane first, so can pretty safely assume that Contracts is here on his own red buff.
Splitting the sides, both of them, these range champions, can be very threatening for the early game with the red buff, so you both want to start on them and then try and play around your best gank setup. Here we go, early into the river, looking for the Scuttle Crab for Acadian. Meanwhile, Contracts is stealing away the blue and taking advantage of the extra information there.
Yep, Contracts should be able to take that down. Also, remember to look for first bounce. He actually does spawn left side.
Cha-ching! Hit the jackpot there. Contracts is able to sweep back down, grab the Scuttle afterwards, get up the mark, while Acadian is trading blue side for blue side.
You can see Crab will go over. Contracts uncontested. Should be able to take this down. So able to split the map. Always nice there with Acadian, who at least loses nothing. He's going to continue to sweep through the Golden Guardians jungle, but Contracts back here on the Gromp to do the same.
And look at what it's doing to these matchups. The Golden Guardians bottom lane should know that the Graves is on their side of the map, and they cannot go aggressive at all. Shen, one of the big things, is setting up these trades with the taunt, going all in, trying to lock up one of the enemy members. It's definitely more difficult against Braum, but they 100% do not want to go in on any of those trades, knowing that the Graves has split the map here. Kind of vertical jungling, as we call it. And Kindred, control of the top side, means the same thing for the Yorick matchup there for Dokla.
Well, while we're here, we are going to hear a little bit from Ovali. He's checking with Coach Zabutine.
Thanks, guys. Pick Zabutine's brain about that Yorick pick. He said that after yesterday, the team is super confident in Dokla, so they wanted to give him some freedom with a pick like that. He said that the team is going to aim to try to win before 25 minutes, or else it's going to be hard for him. Back to you.
Thank you, Ovali. Well, we got about 20-ish minutes to go, so we'll check in around that time.
Yeah, the reason I didn't get super excited for Yorick is because it's a fairly binary champion.
But it's cool, Kobe.
Gonna be split pushing, gonna be trying to utilize all of the minions here to push up on Lorlo. Problem is with the jungle split there and Contracts taking control of topside, especially early on, Dokla cannot move up. And it's not really until he gets his ultimate in and you get a few more levels in the smaller ghosts that he could actually move up. And he's actually overextended right now.
I've seen another problem. Contracts finds an angle here in the top side. Lolo looking to get some gold cashed in. First blood to the gangplank.
Wow, Zabutine just said they had full faith in Dokla. Going for the split push champion here. Trying to 1v1 on the top side, but jungle difference. Contracts able to route up on top side. Goes in for an easy kill onto the Yorick. Let's see what Acadian can do. He's gonna stick around, it looks like, in the brush, waiting for a teleport back from Lorlo. Honestly, though, if you're Lorlo, you might want to call Contracts again if you're looking at the area that this wave is sitting in, because Dokla could freeze it if they know that there is jungler presence from Acadian here. Lorlo moves up anyways. He still has his flash, and of course he has Gangplank, so he can get out of crowd control.
Yeah, Acadian
safe enough to do it.
Hit a plant, so actually I think knew where Acadian was. Unfortunately for Kim, he's going to lose that Scuttle Crab, so Acadian will deny the second bounty. And looks like Lolo may have unfroze the lane for himself. So Contract's going to leave the area. Matt gets a taunt here on the bot side. Flourish to use there by definitely his big just jump straight onto him.
Yeah, that's that trading pattern we talked about for Shen. Because they saw Acadian topside, bottom lane here for Golden Guardians has good communication with the rest of the team. They go aggressive, get a little bit of a health advantage, and they can push in, forcing the teleport out of Arrow.
Dive potentially being set up here, but seeing the double turret mid lane dive go wrong today already.
Not sure if they got a little vision of Acadian, but they saw the hesitation there. They back off. Meanwhile, should be a recall from Deftly as well. Holding the wave for a push here from Mickey. Contracts even moving in to help clear out these minions. They just want to get the back off.
Yep, nice guy. Just going to make sure that he can get out of the lane safely and clear it out. Mickey actually moving pretty far forward. Is going to try and cancel. Does do so, excuse me. That's kind of close.
That's interesting because Power People used the Storm just to push the wave as quickly as possible, but then because its recall was stopped there, Mickey has the option, even being so low. Whoa, no.
Contracts. He's way too far in enemy territory. Akadian was just waiting in the brush to spot him out. Now going to have to try and get over a wall. He does have Mickey to run to. Big is going to TP in. But unfortunately, the little flip over does automatically shoot the Drake, so Contracts takes a little bit of extra damage on the way out, but he does burn his flash and get out safely. Yeah,
that was a very dangerous invade from Contracts, and the teleport from Big is used, but that's not like a huge thing. This is Spellbook Braum from OpTic, so it's not like they were going to use their top lane or something, any sort of big resource. He was going to try and get back to lane anyways. Lorlo on top side has been doing his best to clear out all the ghouls and keep them off of the turret, keeping a reasonable amount of damage there, especially with the extra kill that he got early, allowing the Sheen purchase in addition to plenty of consumables.
As you mentioned, Yorick kind of binary, so Doppler just drops the ulti, kills a bit of damage, and then goes back. I imagine we'll see quite a lot of that in this particular 1v1. Mid laners have gone back though. Quick Merc trades here for Power of Evil, respecting the damage out of Mickey, who is also understanding he wants to do damage and has double amp tome pretty quickly here.
Yeah, Mickey with a big wave building up too. He can try and deny some here from Power of Evil. Goes in for a trade.
This is the chain, but does get the electrocute proc, so comes out pretty nicely on that one. Power of Evil though still chasing, gets Airy to harass a bit more. His Contract does get a bounty. Akadian just barely late to try and contest for that one.
Yeah, Contracts up to 2 here. He probably has Akadian marked as well. He usually marked the enemy jungler. Mickey takes some more damage here and a nice trade from Power of Evil. Power of Evil using his jungler's presence very effectively to get these minions all the way to reset.
Mickey in trouble. There's the ulti, does flash out. That's a great incoming damage. Woo. But now bot side will root that from Varus. Arrow still trying to chug damage into Deathly, but does not do so.
And you just saw why Power of Evil was willing to use his first ultimate on the minion wave to get the minion wave advantage there, because the cooldown is short enough. He immediately able to use it once again here in that trade with Mickey and burn the flash. Quite big here as far as taking down some of the kill threat from the LeBlanc.
There's also the bounty, interestingly, from Contract. So clearly knows that Power of Evil is the man that he wants to be targeting. He's going to get his blue buff now, as Akadian did take his own Gromp, which was the next mark there for Contracts. At least on monsters. Does hop down here to the bot side with the Blast Cone, but going to be a little tricky as there is a ward in that brush. Arrow and Big feeling safe enough, and Matt doesn't have that much health to really work with.
He does just now ding level 6 though, so he has the possibility of lending a shield to elsewhere on the map, you know, if there is a big dive on Mickey or if some top lane focus becomes a problem. Matt will at least have access to that. As you said, he's very low on his own HP, so it would definitely be a sketchy situation if he actually goes through with the Stand United. Mickey, though, in his own sketchy situation.
Oh, fake check to Akadian. Get red smited and takes a bit of damage, but does distort away.
Yeah, Akadian gets a good trade in there. Gets the autos off, dodges the chain, sees that one coming. Kind of prediction, so he starts moving a little bit early. And as a nice chunk out of Mickey's health bar, he does have Corrupting Potion, though, starts drinking that one.
Mickey, though, doing a good job applying pressure, I feel like. Just getting the lane pushed in, making Power of Evil play back a bit, and likely trying to leave the lane and influence somewhere else. Assassins tend to not do too much if they're just sitting in lane farming, but that's exactly what Power of Evil wants to be doing. So he's happy right now.
Yeah, farming up so you can fully upgrade your Hex Core for Victor there and start building into some real AP for himself. Then we get to see the big mana shields coming through with his Qs and the big damage lasers that we have come to know from him. Contract comes right into the back of this Rift Herald actually by himself. No vision from OpTic, and Akadian's actually spending his time on him.
Very nice ult. The Spirit's Refuge up, but it's not enough to save Matt from Arrow, who does snipe out that kill.
Nice ultimate there, locking up Matt from 100% to 0. Everybody quick fire on their ultimate. They're able to get him down. Mark was spawned on the bottom Scuttle Crab as well, so even though Contracts is able to get the Rift Herald during that kill, OpTic should also be able to trade that for some more tempo, getting the reset here.
Power of Evil also chunked Mickey out of lane without using his ultimate. I'm not exactly sure what happened in the exchange, but Mickey was forced back, now has a lost chapter. And Power of Evil doing well to upgrade his hex core at least once. As Mickey again pushing the wave in and trying to get some attention happening. Perhaps wants to use the Rift Herald that Contract did just get. That's cute though from Mickey, denies the blast cone away.
Okay, still pretty much farming up across the board. First blood bonus over to Arrow means he completes his Ghost Blade though. So that lethality definitely taking its toll. You can see the Q plus Comet damage on Matt already chunking down River Shen as he makes his way through a lot of enemy vision.
Yeah, right on the speed train, but wants to make sure he gets some vision. Gonna pop the honey fruit. Eat those to get a little bit of sustain back for himself. Mickey again jumping in, but hasn't really connected these chains just yet. Definitely in the meantime gets tagged by Big's Q.
Oh.
Gonna force the flash.
Yeah, chase there. Ghost Blade activated from Arrow early on and definitely going to be very vulnerable now. Mickey also, so OpTic just continually winning these health trades versus Golden Guardians, taking away the option for Golden Guardians making an offensive move everywhere except for top lane. Rift Herald is now used up here. Lorlo trying to build up into the Trinity Force, and they want that bonus turret gold.
Ooh, Matt tried to find a taunt, but instead he gets ulted by Arrow. He's going to walk away, but here's a KD looking for the dive. Stopwatch already popped, definitely maybe the target now. Eats the Q, Matt flashes away. He's going to be safe, but they're probably losing the turret here. It's a race on for the first brick.
Dokla
defending.
He got the eyeball there, hit onto the Rift Herald, takes it down extremely low, but Golden Guardians still get the first turret bonus.
Able to win the race. Ulti committed by Lolo in the bottom to make it a little bit more lopsided, but still a trade there for OpTic. Not bad at all.
Definitely a very close game on our hands. Both teams scaling up pretty decently here. I have to say, though, the Yorick not really doing a whole lot for OpTic. Power of Evil is trying to, though, as he 1v1s Mickey yet again. He's going to have to worry about some jungler intervention, though.
He's a bait. Yep, Contract wants to come in. Look at Power of Evil. He already cleansed it off. Mickey getting a little over the stand. Now it's going to come in. A great ult there from Big. He's going to lock them all up at the Lamb's spot. Finally gets burned. Big going to get rooted up on the front side, but now it's his turn to go into stasis. Acadian tries to get the pick off, but can't quite grab it. Contract stays alive, but he can't quite kill Big. Power of Evil, that's the kill they want. Matt will finally take him down, and Golden Guardians win the trade.
All the blinking health bars, Pastry. They barely are able to escape. In the end, the actual original target is the kill credit. Golden Guardians finally get their kill onto Power of Evil and will put a stop to his farming.
And Contracts does do the prep work and actually got his third bounty, so good target to get.
Oh, all right. So here's the initial trade. Power of Evil had used his gravity field there in the first trade with Mickey. Then they coordinate with Matt. Shen Stand United comes in. So they full chase into the brush where Big is waiting for the counter here. Once Acadian joins on Graves as well, fires off his ult to try and finish the kill. After Lamb's Respite, the heal had already come in, and Big is able to escape through the brush with one extra bar of health. Topside, though, is under attack once again. Dokla trying to win for his life.
Good cage there by Dokla to prevent the initial chase, but Mickey also roaming up. Does not commit himself to the side lane, but instead gets vision. Will spot Acadian using that Scryer's Bloom. Acadian actually going to face check Mickey. Maybe a bad time here, but the blind is good. Mickey, I think, going to go down. No, hop! Back over the wall to safety. Matt Higgins trying to protect him. Power of Evil wants the kill, but Mickey's going to deny it.
He's definitely on a run for his life. Contracts as well.
Oh, he's surrounded. Yep, is dead to Acadian. Just wanted the Scuttle Crab bounty to the left of your screen.
Yeah, Golden Guardians had their Jhin bottom lane and their Gangplank in the base while they made this little aggressive move with Mickey and Contracts. So somebody was going to get caught up there. In the end, Contracts is the one to pay the price. And now the rest of Golden Guardians, low health bars, trying to play defensive there around mid lane. Leaves Dokla alone with the turret to finally be able to get that gold.
And 0 for 2, unfortunately for Acadian. Not quite enough damage in the ulti to snipe Mickey.
I feel like Mickey has been drinking this whole game, tugging from that potion. He constantly is trying to regain health because all of these trades into him, and he's going to have to take a break at some point.
Dokla also doing a nice job in top side. Drops his ulti, able to split push down a turret. So it's actually OpTic sort of first to take the outer ring. Up pretty healthily in gold as well, about 2,300 or so. Looks like Golden Guardians maybe just playing a little too aggressive in some of these situations, and OpTic starting to ramp up through the game, getting that Hex Core up for Power of Evil, getting the Trinity Force finish now for Dokla.
Well, OpTic have been doing a good job, as we said, with all these small health trades, finally whittling away at the map pressure, at the turrets. Mickey goes for an offensive play on the bottom side, but Big's able to get his ult off.
Really nice ult. Root though still lands in. Mickey flashing in, actually still got clipped. I think he really wanted to kill Arrow, but it's maybe going to cost him a little too much. Great Q there from Arrow, actually should deter the rest of that dive.
I think Mickey always really wants to kill with the way that he plays. This one, not going to be had, but it's actually Golden Guardian who have the health lead this time around, so at least they'll get a dragon for themselves, taking up Mountain while they force the base off of 2 OpTic members.
I mean, Mickey's volatility is well known as a player, so given something like LeBlanc, you're expecting this sort of very aggressive play pattern. Unfortunately for him, he's just got 1 assist. Hasn't really been able to find any of these kills. OpTic kind of keeping the action, like you've said, in their favor, and starting to split the map up, maybe a little too uncomfortably here for Golden Guardians.
All right, well, Lorlo is up to his Trinity Force, but so is Dokla. And Yorick now, you know, he has his ultimate available, level 12 here, so it's even the level 2 ultimate. You keep spamming that out, you keep summoning your ghouls, trying to get your stray auto attack, Trinity Force empowered Q onto the turret, and slowly whittle away at that one. He's actually leaving the top side right now. Contracts finds him in the river and runs him out of town.
Yep, gets put in the cage. Contracts instead just taking this crab away.
Yeah, something, since York's not picked that often, people don't really know much about playing against him. There's only a couple little things, like when you get put into the cage, you can actually auto attack it to take it down and fight yourself out. A lot of people will try and keep spam clicking on York or something and sit in it for the full duration, but you can actually destroy that wall yourself with just normal damage. And a lot of times that'll be a lot quicker and waiting around.
Game seems to have slowed down just a little here, though. I think Golden Guardians, given the turret disadvantage, even though they want to be being proactive and making plays, they don't have that much space to do so. To me, it says that this is exactly the kind of position OpTic love to be in. Power of Evil, who's farming up, he's still doing well in his matchup. Dokla hasn't had to leave the top lane yet, and if he ever does, that's probably a bad thing for the team with the Yorick on it. And Arrow also got those early kills, building up quickly to that lethality. So this is the pace of game I think OpTic are very happy with.
Definitely true. They've got the huge turret lead that you mentioned. That is giving them gold, and the gold is very valuable, but it's also giving them a lot of map territory to work with here. And Golden Guardians, they do have those 2 global ultimates with Shen and Gangplank, but they've been on the defensive the whole time since all of their members are fairly squishy and been relying on corrupting potions to sustain them through the early lane.
So definitely a Matt hit, gonna push this wave back. OpTic keeping Arrow in the mid lane right now, next to Big. Pretty safe place to farm as Matt takes a significant chunk of damage to his health. Contract still hunting around, trying to get some action started here. Scares away the Ghost Porro, and actually is going to threaten potentially a dive here onto Dokla. Contract already over the wall, so they're going for it here. Yeah,
he's in place. Matt is coming around. Dokla senses that they don't have the whereabouts of all of the enemy members, and there's a possible offensive move coming. So we have Braum coming down the lane, as well as a little bit of extra support.
Yeah, Jin actually here as well, so Golden Guardian's going to go straight for this. Maybe Big, the better target, a little softer. But again, Dokka's going to go defensive, try and kite it around. There's only 1 minion left, so really nice job clearing the way. Matt with an aggressive taunt flashes through, but he's still taking the turret. Does get out safely, but the Maiden fighting, making it a little more even as Mickey now still trying to look for the snipe. Once Big, Mickey again getting aggressive, but now Arrow's turned up. Dokka still invincible under the left, despite my Contract's trying to zip out of the way. Mickey also low, as Arrows are going to take the damage down. That's there for Mickey, trying to play it around Arrow. He dodges the next Q from Braum. But it's not quite enough. Golden Guardians committed so much
They've
there.
just lost out in a 5v3 fight here. 2 members of OpTic are on the top side of the map, killing turrets. 2 of the carry members. Big!
OpTic maybe too far forward. Matt almost going down again. They need to get these kills. They do finally get one. But again, they're losing territory here on the top side. Inhibitor turret about to be taken down.
Yeah, Big wanted to stop some backs there. So he does sacrifice himself. He buys time for Acadian and Power of Evil to work on this inhibitor turret. But Golden Guardians, they're probably happy to at least get 1 kill out of everyone going to the bottom side. And it might not even be done yet, as Arrow is fishing around for a couple of canceled recalls as well. In the end, Acadian and Power of Evil got their way all the way up to the inhibitor itself.
Definitely here to finally catch the wave. Unfortunately for them, could not save the turret. Instead, over to OpTic, who have a really nice place for Yorick to attack. Although he's bot side right now, given that Baron is up, I think that probably makes sense to keep him there, but Golden Guardians fumbling quite a bit of this map play, it feels like, in the mid game. Everything starting to go well. A lot of their aggression was almost working out, but OpTic have pretty firm lead right now.
Yeah, Golden Guardians really do need to look for kind of isolated picks here. They have 2 global abilities to work with and a LeBlanc plus Kindred for finding someone to assassinate. Long range damage from Jhin can be added. It's not quite global, but it can definitely cover a lot more distance than most marksmen. So there's a lot to be said for good map play and setup here for the Golden Guardians, trying to gain some ground, trying to get back into this game against OpTic. That way. But OpTic just have Dokla powering away on the bottom on this Yorick. And they've been succeeding through a lot of the team play there with the main squad.
Again, Contracts back here down to the bot side. We're going to try and take down Dokla. I think a bit of a tough ask. Can't quite hop through the cage to shoot it down though, but battling the ghouls. Drake up in 20 seconds, so maybe Golden Guardians need to add to their stock there.
Big rotation towards the mid lane.
Nice taunt. Mickey gonna jump in again. Big is just so tanky with the Unbreakable up though. Lola commits his own contact, gonna try and make it happen. Big not gonna get sniped. Now Aaron needs to block. Shots are gonna start missing. Definitely's firing. Oh! The bait and switch.
Oh my goodness! That was huge from Deathly. Fires off a wild shot to the top side of the map and immediately recalibrates, hones him in. That's some sleight of hand if you've ever seen one. Magic trick, look over here, boom, shoots him right down. They do get the kill and they do get the dragon afterwards. Fancy shooting.
Yeah, the contract shot up as well from 3 to 5 bounties, I believe, in those last few exchanges. So all of a sudden, things looking a little bit better for Golden Guardians. I think most importantly, they get the Drake and they get a turret. They do manage to take the bottom outer turret and give themselves a little bit more room, but they're still behind the goal with OpTic. Spread around this map quite nicely. Mickey trying to make something happen onto Acadian. Stanton United committed. Great route there by Deathly. And that is going to be a kill onto the jungler. Matt maybe forfeit in response. So as Mickey is getting chased, but the corruption doesn't quite finish training instead. It is just Matt that goes down to Arrow.
1-for-1 exchange, but again, OpTic are the ones that have a dedicated split pusher. Yorick is split pushing bottom. Big gets picked.
Nice juke down. Does dodge the next flourish from Deathly. Contracts though not done. Maybe now done. Hops back over the wall after just throwing some.
Yeah, you had a couple of
exit
seconds
arrows
left there on the W, so you're able to get the reduced cooldown on Q. Easy hop over. One more shot. As I said though, the Yorick takes his toll.
He's told his structures at this point. Is Mickey finally down to clear these out? Does do so, but Dokla not needing to leave unless he does want to go shop, which he will do. Sterix is finished.
I believe, by the way, Acadian was just standing in that bush because he was placing his Ghost Portal, trying to get the extra stats. Later in the game, that can get you into trouble if you over-focus on the placement, even though it is favorite rune. All right, Mickey here with the rest of the squad, trying to clear out the vision around Baron and open up space to make those picks that we're setting up, you know, with these champions. You know, some more misdirection could definitely benefit Golden Guardians. That's where they got the big lead in the first place there, or the big amount of comeback gold, I guess. They still have a long ways to go as far as catching OpTic, because OpTic have done so much work on turrets. Ahead right now, 6-2.
Smart look though to try and pick up Power of Evil in the side lane, but unfortunately Mickey not able to quite find the target. Does have 1.5 items and a lot of magic pen, but probably not enough to get through Power of Evil, who's built that early magic resist out of respect. So watch kind of this last exchange again.
All right, so they have a collapse from 4 members for Golden Guardians. Matt gets the taunt. As you know, the Gangplank ultimate also used. They had a lot of damage. They thought they had it. And here's the misdirection. Yeah, fires up this way. I'm looking over there. Arrow moves to the side with a minion. It looked like he was a minion block there to the side as they were walking through the conga line. And Big also not noticing, so Nice fourth shot to the back. Mickey goes in on big once again.
Yeah, gonna get the chain, just pokes him down. Pretty good amount of health actually being taken off. Looks like Lolo's also joined with the team. He does have TP, but Golden Guardians are trying to fight with Zoclo bot side. Might have to spike you Dolly by contract, but he needs it to not die. Flashes as well. They're gonna start the team fight here. Definitely letting a rip there with the ulti. But Big putting up the doors, blocking all these shots. Arcadian eats the last one.
That Power of Evil combo onto Kindred forces his ult and his flash because of the placement of the gravity field. And Power of Evil didn't even take much in return. Huge burst damage with the Lich Bane build that he's rushed. But now he's overextended, and Contracts wants revenge with Mickey.
About to be in a 1v3. Arcadian's going to come up and try and help, but the taunt is true from Matt. Contract's able to get the kill. Arcadian just throws out the yell in almost frustration.
Yep, that was definitely a frustrated flash forward ultimate. Now he's going to dash over the wall. He's in full retreat. And it gives Golden Guardians time to have Lorlo answer the split push on bottom. OpTic do have to be a bit careful because a lot of their gold is from turrets. Dokla, though, is looking to get more of it.
With so much free time here with the Maiden blocking up a lot of that damage. Lolo going to try and force him off fully, but has to call his jungler in to do so. So Golden Guardians will protect this turret, but it took a beating from the Yorick.
Exactly, Yorick, as we said, binary champion. He's all about turret destruction. Even though he's the Gravedigger, it's mostly about taking down the structures. And you just pop your ultimate there. You have Demolish, able to get that channel off. And even though he instantly was chased off of the turret, that thing is left with 20% HP.
OpTic still playing around this good little centerpiece in mid lane. See the turret health there. Dokla did manage to damage. Looks like Baron is going to be our next pretty obvious point of contention, but with a permanent split pusher in the bot lane, OpTic have a lot of pressure to play around here.
Also like the little purchase of a Raptor cloak for Dokla on the Yorick. Gives you a lot of speed around turrets and even destroyed turrets. So it doesn't lose value as the game goes on. It's pretty efficient little kind of half item there. Uh-oh, though. Mickey looking for a play.
Looking for Power of Evil. That's the real prize if they can get it. A lot of burst damage done. Definitely having to find it, and Mickey does confirm the assassination.
They finally were able to use their control wards to get the pick that we were talking about. Now with Power of Evil, the core of the OpTic team off of the Summoner's Rift, what can Golden Guardians do?
I think the obvious thing was to try and take down the Baron, but they're going to play it slow a little here. Dokla also getting onto Lolo. Lolo not able to get caged up. Takes down the ghouls. Actually don't take too much damage there. Lolo now going to try and chase it back around because he's got two friends coming.
Yep. A lot of actual advantage there for Dokla getting the point runner plus the passive smooth speed from Trinity Force proccing. And actually able to kite that one out. Nice little exchange there, drawing Golden Guardians across the map. And the answer that you're looking for is not much for the Golden Guardians. They get some of the vision cleaned out, and that's definitely an important improvement from yesterday, because yesterday when Golden Guardians had the priority, they didn't set those building blocks, right? And that's why they had the bad play around Baron, because they didn't have their previous wards placed deep, and they didn't account for tracking enemy champions later on into the game. Currently, though, OpTic, even though they still hold this gold lead, it's very tenuous. If Golden Guardians do start knocking down some of the turrets in answer, they will make that up very quickly. So you do have to be careful. Yorick right now is actually maybe in a 1v2 as Contracts is headed down there.
Contracts over the wall. Dokla, they're going to try and start the fight early. Dokla doing a lot of work, but again, the stage united. Dokla, though, kills him through it all. Matt's not going to be able to join the fight, and Contracts is forced to play the ulti. Now Dokla still trying to kite it out of the way. Might be able to get one more. Nathan Matt grabs the double kill.
There you go, Dokla with the double kill. It takes 3 to take him down, and he's yelling, "What are you doing, team? Start pushing."
And they do so, at least here in mid lane. Baron maybe another option, but instead they'll just look for the sieges, extending that turret lead now 7-2. And the fact that it's only 2,000 gold between these two teams is pretty impressive, but the gold's not going to matter if you don't have turrets to defend your nexus.
I think that was a huge play there from Dokla. OpTic were, on the brink of losing some control in this game and letting Golden Guardians get a lot of their gold back. Mickey is on a ward and going into 4 people, so
he's out of there.
Low chances of success with that assassination.
Gets the control will do, but still on vision. Now walks out. Big not going to be Too hasty here. Looks for a Q. Not going to get it. Mickey goes back. Wants the chain. Doesn't have his ult. Might be low. Trying to get out of there. Dropped. Ulti. Mickey lost the behind there. Well, the glacial vision is actually not enough, and Big's tanking Baron damage. Acadian needed to be there for the frustration ult.
I mean, it's cool that Mickey got himself out of that situation, but it was pretty bad getting into it.
What about this situation?
So it looked like Lore, let's see, does he yeah, he starts auto-attacking to get himself out of there, but that gave Dokla enough time to just straight take him down along with the maiden damage. One of the things you really go, underestimated in these duels is the ultimate there, the maiden the entire time from Dokla. He immediately is able to get the target onto his opponent, focus down, gangplank first, gets the double kill onto Contracts, but now Golden Guardians are revived and they're back onto Baron.
Time to force, straight to Baron. Here comes Dokla TPing in. They're going to be able to get the Baron, but can they get out safely? Acadian may be looking for a steal as Contracts does find the smite, should be able to hop over the wall, does do so. Golden Guardians get out alive.
Ooh, sneaky little answer here from the Golden Guardians, and with Baron-empowered recalls, they can protect their base. Look at the exposed inhibitors that they have, top and mid. There wasn't a lot of time left, so crucial call there from the Golden Guardians, and the timing window very critical as OpTic will half-heartedly take up their consolation prize of the Cloud Drake. To give them a little bit more speed to make their next rotation with.
Have it for the last one, unfortunately. The Golden Guardians will pick that up and keep the gold still very close. Just over 1,000 between the two teams, and that's still accounting for a heavy turret difference between the two sides. I mean, mid-outer is still up for OpTic. Golden Guardians going to try and change that. Barreling down mid lane, looking to take those last few points off.
And remember, these guys are tied in the standings right now, just inside of the playoff race. Cut off there at 6th place. Both these teams with big aspirations to improve on their spring split performances. Definitely having so much more success in summer here. And this win definitely means a lot, pushing a lot more distance between you and your direct competitors.
Nikki did take a turret in top side in the meantime, so nice job there using the Baron. LeBlanc's actually a pretty good split pusher with Baron buff. So hard to kill and catch that there's a couple autos here and there, and a lot of help from the wave can get it done. Golden Guardians are still here in mid trying to get this particular nuisance taken care of, but our people saying, I don't think so. Gonna protect his turret to the bitter end.
All right, pretty much tied up in gold. Baron buff on the Golden Guardians. They're trying to take back some of these turrets. It's still a 5-turret lead here for OpTic, and they're in the defensive huddle, trying to utilize even their own jungle to get off some poke damage. Meanwhile, though, Baron buff is going to assist the split push here.
Lolo actually popping Ghostblade, running straight for the turret, so pretty set as far as making sure to capture these objectives for the team. I think maybe enough pressure here on the bot side to give them traction in mid. Golden Guardian should be able to take that down as well, although do need to wait for the wave.
And they do have to worry about Dokla. That Yorick, back to his duties, split pushing away on top side. He does have access to the ultimate, but not teleport as well. So he's going to get up to exposed inhibitors, and he can take them down very quickly. There's going to have to be some sort of answer. Golden Guardians will get another turret for themselves, so some more gold, but Lorlo makes his recall there. He's going to go back and answer the minion wave. Dokla calls off the charge.
Yeah, could be a very easy answer there for Lolo, who's got Storm Razor now finished as his 4th item. Also, Contract picked up Blade of the Ruin King as his last purchase. I think needs to make sure he wins any more altercations with the Yorick.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things about playing against some champions that aren't picked very often. If you haven't played against it in quite a long time, it becomes hard to judge the damage output and kind of the counterplay there. That's why they got donked in the basically 3v1 double kill.
Shoveled to death. 3.5. Matt ulted as well.
Yeah, Mickey here with the level 16 LeBlanc, hiding in brush, classic play pattern, looking for the assassination, as Golden Guardians have done a pretty good job now moving a lot of these wards into the bottom side of the map where they were split pushing previously.
And also, again, given that even though Golden Guardians have actually taken the gold lead in this game thanks to that Baron, kind of things have worn off. They don't have the buff anymore. They're not up a huge amount of gold given how late we are into this game, approaching 36 minutes. And the next dragon that will spawn is going to be Elder. So a very nice 4,000 gold power play there. But that was kind of just to give them a small lead in this game and make sure they stayed competitive.
And a lot of that is taking back a lot of the turrets that were left standing there from OpTic. Still, though, have a lot to work with as far as the secondary turret here in mid lane. Still kind of a defensive point for OpTic Gaming. And the Golden Guardians pulling off full recalls to go purchase before they make another push.
No major monster to fight for just yet, but still lots of damage built up on both sides. They've really had just a lot of farming in the last 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, Lolo is approaching his final item. I imagine that will be Infinity Edge. Definitely has a huge amount of items built up to get that crit on Jin going. But of course, Arrow also with 4 items and still 1 left to finish. Very tense, given that Dokla needs to be careful in these side lane situations. Mickey wants to answer, but if he can't get the assassination and gets himself assassinated, then all of a sudden Golden Guardians lose a huge bit of pressure. So a lot to balance here, and with the buff coming back up in a minute 25 for the Elder and a minute 50 for the Baron, we're going to see how this game will break out in just a few.
And it's very difficult for OpTic Gaming now. You know, basically, you have to have Yorick pushing away on one of the side lanes, gaining pressure. But split pushes don't just work off of one-man split pushing. It also has to have the 4-man squad also creating a similar amount of pressure in another lane, or at least threatening to punish if the enemies send multiple resources up to answer your single Yorick up there. So if Contracts and Lolo both are dedicated to chasing down Yorick, the 4-man squad of OpTic have to do something else on the map to make it worthwhile. Unless Dokla is able to 2v1 again and just donk them both.
We'll see, he's in the brush, recalling. Looks like he may get out safely. Actually jumped into the next one. Dokla gonna ulti.
Here we go.
The Blade of the Ruin King, Matt again gonna try and join in. Contract does not want what happened last time to transpire once more, but there's a deadly flourish. They do get the GA. Mickey's still pressuring bot. Here's big though. They're actually just gonna get the revive out. Don't even get a real kill. But Mickey, he's now split pushing in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's the problem. The rest of OpTic weren't able to get anything done because they are weaker and not able to push in Golden Guardians. So with the resources spent topside, Mickey's able to snipe that turret very effectively. The changes a couple patches ago, increasing the AP damage conversion that you're able to get onto towers, allows this LeBlanc to open up an avenue for Golden Guardians to be successful. There you go, though, Pacey. You're waiting for it. Elder Dragon's on the table, and Baron soon to follow.
Yeah, they started it immediately. Golden Guardians really trying to speed up this late game. They can get this smite. Their team fight will be pretty good, but they've got to be careful.
50-50, Acadian's close, oh, the
Matt
taunt!
gonna try and turn it off, and he does do so. Matt actually over the wall with the flash after taunting up the grave. So successful take there by Golden Guardians. Now what?
Yeah, really big taunt there from Matt. Plain interference, but you say, now what? They've got the true damage burn. Mickey's going for the 1v1 bottom. Everybody else is headed over to Baron for round number 2.
Mickey's actually maybe going to keep chasing, just force a 4v4. Dokla kiting around, Mickey looking for another target. There's still also minions in topside that could be causing problems for Golden Guardians as well. But Mickey, he's really wanting to try and get a kill here and just give them an advantage they can really play with. Mickey, though, instantly chunked.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the melee range there. Yorick able to get Trinity Force empowered auto with the Titanic Hydra active use. During that time, though, Golden Guardians should be able to burn through this Baron pretty easily.
Yeah, it looks like OpTic just gave it up there. Maybe didn't really feel that there was a way they could contest. Mickey actually did find enough pressure to maybe give OpTic say, you know what, we can't really fight against the Elder Dragon team, even in a 5v4, and they're probably not getting Dokla out safely to even start that fight. So Golden Guardians actually collect both the Elder and the Baron.
Yeah, Golden Guardians with a tremendous amount of damage on their team. All these guys scaling up quite nicely. And they're winning now through a lot of these focused attempts at picks. Let's see with this true damage. Extra burn here from Elder Dragon will time off pretty soon. That would at least give OpTic a little bit of an opening to go for at least a counter initiation if the Golden Guardians overplay their hand.
Mickey again just continuing to get vision and be a nuisance. I mean, if a squishy walks by, almost instantly dead at this point, given how many items LeBlanc has. Lolo also getting things moving in the bot lane. He's sold his shoes, he's lost them, and bought a Phantom Dancer instead. Golden Guardians is trying to constrict the map and force OpTic back. turn off the split push ban and just try and knock down these last few turrets to look to take the game. But 41 minutes in, at this point, one bot team fight's going to mean the end of the game.
Definitely have to be careful here while you're treading around these turrets. The last secondary turret is soon to fall, though, in mid lane, and Golden Guardians still, remember, have an open route bottom. There is no inhibitor turret down there, so Mickey and Lorlo make their way straight for it.
Now Power of Evil does a decent amount of damage, but Lorlo maybe a bit too far forward. What a crit by Lorlo! But it's not quite enough to take him down. Mickey, though, still looping forward. Going to take bottom inhibitor turret and mid inhib. Bot inhib also will be taken down. Golden Guardians, huge amount of value on that push.
Minute 45 left on the Baron buff as well. They're not going to stick around, though. Someone's going to go back and push this one out so Dokla doesn't answer inhibitors. And Golden Guardians, one more purchase before they look to finish this one. 2 inhibitors down with those extra super minions coming in should give them enough extra pressure to be able to just run down topside and leave very little room for Dokla to play out this York. Like, if there's super minions marching down the other 2 lanes, he can't really make up a lot of ground elsewhere on the map, no matter how good the champion is at PvE.
And if you think all the way back to the early stages of this game where OpTic were up 6 turrets, they were the ones that had multiple inhibitors exposed they could potentially take. To think that the first 2 inhibs taken in this game are by Golden Guardians means they have done a lot to keep Dokla at bay out of the side lanes and to grind themselves out this lead. Now a few steps away from potentially closing this game, but OpTic unlikely to go down without a fight.
Yep, they've actually picked up a Zerat portal there from Dokla, so he's going to place that one behind the bottom inhibitor to stem the bleeding, try and hold off some of the super minions that are marching down. Mickey is applying the Baron buff here in mid lane, though, and forcing some attention.
OpTic, sorry, going to try and hold up what they can. Golden Guardians being patient, still with Baron for a little bit longer. Mickey does get slowed there. Dokla going to stick the ghouls on him. Golden Guardians have different things in mind. Mickey's like, can you please stop chasing me? Dokla's like, nope. And Golden Guardians are all right. I guess
The one ghoul is keeping up the chase. The hero, oh, that's what you get for doing your job well.
A Luden's proc to the face. It's a rough time being a ghoul sometimes.
Yeah, lifespan for ghouls, not very long. Even if you get to live out your dream of getting off auto attacks.
Maiden spawned by Dokla, actually. So Mickey, at least, again, just keeping someone away. Maybe Golden Guardians happy in this 4v4 siege situation. But keep an eye again on the man we always talk about for OpTic. Power of Evil, almost full build. Just got a Rabadon's death cap to likely complete. He will dish out damage if Golden Guardians step in the wrong place.
He's got a Banshee's Veil. He's got the possible big mana shield coming in from the Q as well. So he definitely has some defenses, even if Golden Guardians do focus him, but it's definitely been difficult to get much of it off. You can see, rare game for him, 0-3 for Power of Evil. There's been so much focus on him. People have gotten away with slivers of health. Acadian, though, is the target.
They've spotted him. They're going to jump on him, and Mickey just does so much in combination with Lolo. Matt going to get the taunt. He wants to finish up the kill, but they actually can't get anything else out. Matt's still decently tanky, but he is going to fall down to Dokla. Now Lolo may be caught. His Sterix procs.
That's big. OpTic are able to actually get the kill. Acadian lives, and they buy themselves some more time. What a defense here from OpTic. They do not want to let Golden Guardians pass them in the standing.
Seems like passive plus more of Malmorius kept Acadian a lot tankier than I think the Golden Guardians were expecting.
Yeah, take another look here. He's able to dash away from the barrel explosion, but with Mickey on the way, standing on top of his back, they get a huge burst combo. Matt does wait for the taunt after the flash, but because the rest of his team backed off and there wasn't a Jhin around, they just immediately turn on Matt and take him down.
Well, Matt dead for 8 more seconds, but not the worst time to make a mistake, given that still a minute 30 on Baron or Elder Dragon as they'll come back up. But it does give OpTic the time they need to let these inhibs respawn to keep the waves back on Golden Guardian side of the rift. It's Mickey trying one more time for an assassination, this time onto Dokla. It's a bit of poke. It's pretty hard.
Yeah,
Kill this York.
You can get a chunk on him, but it has been difficult for them to pin down Dokla. Doing a pretty good job of being very annoying. Sends the Maiden down on the suicide mission. Last little effort there, and Lolo cuts him down.
Yep, has Infinity Edge now finished as well. So Lolo is like going through it more than 6 items at this point. Just trying to build up maximum damage here on the gangplank.
Big crits coming through. We saw a couple of them in action before. Even with those, though, did you see how hard of a time he had chopping his way out of the Yorick prison? That one still took deceptively long. That thing does get a bit tanky later into the game. Here we go, though. Golden Guardian still with a huge advantage. They have full pressure on OpTic, trying to keep them inside the base. 25 seconds left on the Baron coming up, and that might be the one that they retreat to try and end this game.
Yeah, they know inhibs are respawning pretty soon, as there we go. They do pop back up. So just trying to keep the pressure up. Swapwaddle's done a great job there by Dokla in the bot lane to fend off a lot of this pressure, but Baron will die extremely quickly if Golden Guardians get any free time. And Mickey again, just being a nuisance, poking with the LeBlanc.
Yeah, late game LeBlanc is actually difficult to pull off there to find openings. But Baron is starting up.
King's on
no vision there for OpTic, but they might try and rush for a trade of objectives.
No smite by Contracts, knows that he might have to contest for this, but I don't know if they have enough time. TP in. OpTic are committing very hard for this.
Are they going to catch him red-handed? 6,000 health on the Elder Dragons, going down pretty quickly.
Oh, they're going to win the team fight if they do get it. It looks like they will get the objective. Acadian does smite it away, but they're actually running for the hills. Maiden is going to be taken down, definitely with some cover fire as Matt Panel Stanchion added onto Lolo. Maiden also being a nuisance, but again, still trying to dance around the CC. It's a big, long flank here from Mickey as well. Maybe hoping he can find someone like Power of Evil. Diving it onto Arrow does a big amount of damage. Being corralled right now by Golden Guardians. Mickey's still trying to cut off their escape paths.
Mickey's actually running now for the mid lane inhibitor. He can Baron up, buff up these minions. Golden Guardians trying to pressure OpTic, but OpTic successfully trade objectives, get back to their base, and will attempt the defense once again.
Yeah, now OpTic, what do they do? Can they force a fight right now? Golden Guardians are a little bit split, trying to take 2 inhibs.
Yep, they're slowly poking it down. OpTic looking for the opening. Big definitely wants the engage here. Not much time left. No health on the inhibitor.
Mickey looking mid lane, does grab the inhib. Contracts overcommit perhaps. Try to last few shots, has the ulti ready, but they need to be patient here. They do finally take it down. Golden Guardians should be able to walk away as Mickey also escorting the top wave now. I think Golden Guardians know they need maximum Baron pressure.
Yep, they're able to get both inhibitors. That's definitely key for the Golden Guardians. And OpTic, they have to choose their moment wisely as far as the engage, because you won't get another chance. But giving up both inhibitors means that the extra pressure coming through is going to be in the favor of Golden Guardians. And that was a big, big momentum swing.
And again, it's not a long walk for OpTic if they win a team fight. Inhibitor's still exposed. They've got a clear path straight through mid lane to try and end the game. So tense at this juncture as Mickey does eat the bad end of some trades by Power of Evil.
Yeah, there's a lot of combat power, even behind only one Elemental Drake boosting up this Elder Dragon buff for OpTic. You can see Power of Evil, he's confident to just run straight into Mickey's face because of the big shield he gets off of his Q. He's full item build, whereas Mickey still was holding onto that corruption potion. Just now finally finishes out full items, as he's got a proto belt as well for a little bit of extra burst.
Well, looks like Mickey getting chunked means that Golden Guardians do have to call off their pressure. Only a minute left on this Baron. Not too sure that they'll be able to really do what they want with that top lane inhibitor turret that's still standing. This definitely does pick up the red buff on the way. Contract's also going to take down the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, actually been such a long game. He's up to 8 bounties. We stopped counting a while ago, but given that we're almost at 50 minutes and still no clear winner in sight, although Golden Guardians right now are playing with a decent advantage.
Yeah, they do have a lot of damage that they can bring around. And now with the 2 lines of super minions, they should be able to focus their power, but OpTic have been so good at their defensive stance, constantly forcing Golden Guardians out, grabbing the extra kill here. Let's see if they can do it again. There is a Guardian Angel on Arrow, so even if he gets dove into the backside, he'll get right back up. Power of Evil on the top side, trying to force them off their last remaining inhibitor turret.
Oh, Mickey actually dove back in. He's trying to take down Acadian. Lolo also on the other side, but Mickey is again so low.
Yeah, Acadian's giving just as good as he got there. Chunks him down, and he has life steal.
Oh, Contract GA just got popped. Definitely again trying to provide cover, but Contract needs to stay alive. Still has his ultimate. He's going to hop out of the way, but Mickey again, Proto Belt's over. He's playing so aggressively over these walls.
Almost looks like Golden Guardians are running out of steam here with that big chunk onto his health bar there. OpTic defend again.
That green wall, Kobe, real hard to knock down. As Golden Guardians will have to retreat. Baron buff has dropped off. We could have yet another round of epic monster spawns. I don't know what the most amount of Elder Dragons you've seen in a competitive game is, Kobe.
2,
but
for sure 2. I've never seen 3.
well, we might see 3. Hold on to your seat. He's already standing, don't worry.
I might
doesn't need it.
Take a seat if we get that long into 3 of them. Baron power play, as you can see, when there's so many less structures to take, it's a pitiful 1.3K. Not a lot of extra room to work with there. And since there's an Elder Dragon that was traded for the Baron, it's not one of the bigger ones that you're going to see later into the game.
No need to be trifling with things like gold lead at a time like this, Kobe. 51.5 minutes through. Really just looking at map play and execution. Given how exposed both these teams' bases are, have lost the same amount of turrets, 8 apiece. Again, going to be about playing around these big objectives or finding that correct execution in a skirmish or a team fight. Whatever happens, the first team to decisively lose a fight loses this game.
Most definitely. Golden Guardians once again pushing up the minion lines. They have all 3 of them moving towards OpTic. Will OpTic be able to hold the door once again? It's wide open right now, but GGS have not been able to step through it. Power of Evil, once again, closes it. Gravity Field there to cut it off. Gangplank ultimate used.
Yeah, they were trying to set up, I think, for a flourish by taking off the Banshees, but Power of Evil just kites away. And Golden Guardian's going to have to try again. I mean, you can kind of see how important this game is to both teams, given the standings implications.
All right, Dokla's dealing with the super minions on bottom side. Power of Evil gives a good trade on top. Meanwhile, Mickey tries to open up mid, but it's not gaining them any sort of advantage.
Inhib's also looking to respawn once more. Getting chased away. Actually has a Banshee's Veil now. Looks like he sold that Proto Belt.
What do they make these green walls out of, Pastry? Because it is durable. No one getting inside. Inhibitors coming back up. And once those happen, OpTic actually have an option of making their own proactive move. Here we go. Respawn number 2.
All right. 40 seconds until Baron is back up. Kobe's mythical 3rd Elder Dragon, a minute 50 away.
Ooh, I'm kind of excited.
I mean, me too.
It's kind of sad that, yeah, we are going to have the 3rd one, but only 3 Elemental Drakes were taken in this whole game, and they were split by the team.
I think they'd be taking more. The first 1 or 2 probably would have ended the game.
Baron does get stronger as the game goes on, too, and Baron is coming out much quicker. 13 seconds left on that sucker. Let's see if Golden Guardians will be able to get another one for themselves and burn it down. As I said, with the inhibitors respawned, OpTic finally have the chance to make their own move and dictate a little bit of the rest of this game.
Golden Guardians sticking together. OpTic doing the same. I think Joker forced to play with his team now. Mickey again over the wall. Trying to poke, gets some damage on the Acadian.
Late game LeBlanc, though, so difficult to find value. They shrug off the damage here for OpTic. Push up the mid line. They send Yorick on his foot position.
This is going to be the moment that makes or breaks the game, I think. GGS committing to the Baron, but the chain corruption's really good for Arrow. Golden Guardians are hard committing to this objective, and I think they've realized they actually need to get off. Dokla, can he do it again? He's going to try and be the hero and take down the game. Acadian, a 3-man smoke screen. Landris by, pops the stopwatch. They need to buy time. Power of Evil, getting low. Here comes the TP back, but I think Dokla, he's able to solo down these turrets. Cancels the TP, and Dokla, he's going to do all the work himself. Takes down Golden Guardians Nexus. They're going to give OpTic their win.
Who said Split Push was dead, Pastry? Because it is alive and well for OpTic Gaming. My God, they hold the line at their base for a good 15 minutes defending inhibitor respawns. And finally, they're able to make the call. They move up. The first proactive move that they make in the last half of the game is sending Dokla right down the mid lane. They dare Golden Guardians to start that Baron. And even just with the 4 members and the threat of stealing away the Baron, they completely outdo GGS. Dokla ends up with the screenshot alone with the Nexus, and that maybe the week of the most Nexus rushes that we have ever had. Not all of them are base races because the other team's not going for the Nexus, but a lot of solo kills on the Nexus so far.
Didn't get to 3 Elder Dragons, but we did at least get yet another Nexus rush as Dokla just slams down those turrets. I did feel like Golden Guardians, some of that tension kind of got to them. You know, such an important game for both these teams, but OpTic's resolve holds. Their defense is incredible. And Dokla just does what he needs to do on a champion that, like you said, Kirby, very binary, but very good at what he does.
I mean, that sucker came up one. One victory for Yorick, and he's undefeated in the North American LCS.
All right, for more on that win, Ovally is standing by for an interview with the OpTic support.
Big congratulations on that.
It's like I just don't understand the inefficiency of practice where you're like here are the top 5 matchups, try them.
My understanding is from talking to some of the coaches and stuff is that players literally just refuse, and then they don't have like authority to like make them
Yeah.
or whatever,
No,
which is just obviously a problem.
yeah.
Again, one more. Let's repeat the
Do
question.
some sign language. I'll be Ovally, you be big.
Okay. Hey, how do you feel about winning that game, Big? I feel tired.
Honestly, that was a pretty crazy ending, but I've gotten used to these base rushes. You know, North American LCS was that like the 3rd one that we've had this week. Dokla, they're able to send him right down the mid lane on the Yorick. Finally, he's able to get his toll. He also had another big moment in that game. If you remember back to 3 members collapsing on almost 4.
The
He gets
1v3
2
and a
kills,
half.
pulls off the double. Definitely some interesting stuff here.
I mean,
that
I
we've
think
seen.
if you think again just for OpTic, what this means for their season, I mean, they were joking, oh, we went 2-0. That's pretty great. For the first time ever in their history, they were kind of like joking maybe a little bit about the 4-0, but to their credit, they have not lost yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was the first week last weekend when OpTic were able to get even a single 2-0 week. But now this huge hot streak that they're going on, I mean, that is going to mean a lot for playoffs. These are some guys that have had to deal with a lot. They talked about criticism. I mean, they have some vlogs for themselves that they've been able to put out, but they've really come together as a team. As much as Power Vivo is joking, you know, about carrying the heaviest animals in the world, they actually were able to win through split pushing this time with Dokla, and they put a lot of trust in him, as Zabutin said, and they were rewarded for that trust.
And it feels like on the other side of the coin there for Golden Guardians, continuing to build good comps for themselves, continuing to play well in the early to mid game. But it does feel like, unlike OpTic in this case, when it comes to those super late situations, there's not someone there kind of pushing them over the edge, being like, okay, we're fine, we have an advantage, let's just try and end the game.
Yeah, I mean, it does become a bit difficult at that stage, and you can see Mickey was constantly looking for things with the LeBlanc, but getting chunked out, and in the late game, don't have a lot of fallback pattern as far as how to execute there.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed our bonus coverage, but we're going to send it down to the State Farm Analyst Desk to close out the day.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I don't know what has gotten into the NALCS here in week 6, but for another game to end in this kind of fashion where it's like a solo push down a lane while the team goes crazy to try and stop backs on the other side of things.
You just got to kill the Nexus.
It's a bad It's true. They are playing to the win conditions of Summoner's Rift.
Green wall.
Which is to
4
kill
games in a row.
the
Green wall.
Nexus. A 4-game winning streak for OpTic. It is actually something to be recognized here. This squad is on a tear. Although today's win didn't necessarily come easy, I do want to take another look at these final moments here for the OpTic gaming squad.
And once Dokla got in position at the inhibitor, you knew that they had just had a big strategic edge because Yorick kills turrets so quickly and Golden Guardians didn't have the damage to burst down Baron.
Right, and this was a situation where Golden Guardians had pressure over the map for the last like 15, 20 minutes, so there's no reason that they couldn't have gotten mid-priority before moving to the Baron and then doing all of that, and the fact that they left a minion wave up for the Yorick to escort into the base and then win the game shows just like how mentally strained they were after struggling to close the game after 2 Barons,
double
drag.
inhib down multiple times, for Golden Guardians to establish that map pressure. But ultimately, OpTic shows resilience, right?
Did they ever?
The epitome of resilience here in order to come away with that victory. But I do want to work through some of the earlier portions of the game because some really interesting micro or individual things happened. In particular, this bot dive here by Golden Guardians, which OpTic's able to fend off with just 3 people and snag 2 turrets on the opposite side.
This is a situation where you think OpTic is winning the game, and even though they won the game, it slipped away from them eventually. But here's a situation where they're diving, it's not going super cleanly, they're doing a really good job dissuading it. Dokla makes Contract panic and have to drop the Kindred ultimate, which keeps all of them alive. They mistime it. This is something I see so much, it annoys me. You are invulnerable through the heal of the Kindred ult. People try and time it to like snipe someone as the heal comes through. The heal comes through while you're invulnerable, and then you go uninvulnerable. So people don't need to panic stopwatch before the heal goes through. Wait to watch the heal, then throw your ability or whatever it is. Anyways, that's just a situation where they didn't get a kill until Big walked forward again to interrupt somebody.
Right.
And then the entire time up on the top side of the map, you see them getting taken down.
Yeah, 2 turrets go down. Another big story, though, from this game was Mickey on that LeBlanc pick.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
in the sense that this guy, he couldn't die. I mean, he did have 1 death at the very end of the game, but for so long, it felt like he was just escaping death at every turn. It was insane.
I completely agree. This was actually a game where OpTic had a lot of control early. The Golden Guardians came back, then OpTic swung around at the end. And a large part of the reason that OpTic didn't just steamroll the game early on is they kept throwing 99% of Mickey's health off of his bar and never the last 1%. We had a stat until the very end where he did die in the very final team fight. But the previous record for most damage taken as a LeBlanc without dying was high at about 19,900.
Exactly.
Mickey was around 43,000 damage taken
Without a death.
dying. Because
on LeBlanc!
His LeBlanc passive would pop and he'd get out of there. He was such a nuisance for so much of that game. But then he died and they lost.
But then he died. Yeah, but then he died.
There goes that stat.
And, I do think, though, that this does point to some of the systemic issues for Golden Guardians that we've hit on at times, which is that strong early game, but it's just about that ability to close and the cleanliness of the close. And so if we take a look at gold differentials, as from yesterday to today, quite obviously we see that in their loss yesterday had a substantial gold lead. Yeah. Right? And then threw it all away. This time around, OpTic with control in the early game. Golden Guardians bringing it back to a huge advantage and then still losing the game. So in both scenarios, not coming away with the victory.
Well, Cadian was the one who was on the desk after that Golden Guardian loss yesterday, explaining that the problem with them is that they skip steps. And you look at how they lost that game. They didn't push the mid wave. Then Dokla rode that all the way into the base. And until they clean up the fundamentals of their gameplay, you will have these erratic games where you lose after being up 3K at 10 minutes, or you lose after having double inhibitors down.
And I also think that this will be a gut check for Golden Guardians' mental, because you can throw the big lead, and then they come back to this game, and it feels like they've actually come back in the same situation, and they're thinking, all right, it's going to be a wash, right? We missed up that one, but we got this one back, so fair. We had a good week. But when you lose both,
yeah, doesn't feel good.
It's just so deflating for Golden Guardians, who could have been 6-6. In their heads, they could be 7-5. Right. But they're 5-7, and they have to fight back.
Also, can we just have an appreciation for not only Dokla's resilience, but his rune mastery, his keystone choice?
Overgrowth with 600 CS. And Gathering Storm at 55 minutes.
You know the nice thing about Overgrowth, too? You don't even have to get the minions for it to matter. It's minions that die near you.
And
so there's that 600 and any minions he was standing by that he didn't get to see.
Dude had like 5,000 health.
So much health.
With the GA and a Trinity Force in his build.
Gathering Storm, oh my goodness. But, it's the first top lane Yorick win here in North America as well, which is interesting enough. But we talked all the time about, the different matchups of GP versus like Mundo and whatnot. Well, Yorick, that's all you got to do now. Just Yorick and then make it to 60 minutes.
And never group.
Never group. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at predictions from the day, see how you guys fared. The fans did come out like, oh my goodness, they went 5-0.
Holy!
Congratulations to the fans. You're the true winners.
You guys have no excuses anymore.
I had a winning record at least today.
Yeah.
No, I'll take what I can get. I'm not in love with it, but
right, you're gonna move one game ahead of Jat now. It's a tight race between the two of you.
It is.
But the fans can be happy.
Today
we got to get them next week.
No excuses.
I don't even know. I think the fans just walk
They're
away with
coming
their
back.
victory.
No,
I don't even think they need to, you know.
I'm going to make production do it until we beat them.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. I like that.
That'd be really sad. Like week 9, day 2 here at the LCS fans still.
It's like, can we play another week? We still haven't beaten the LCS fans. All right, well, when the game comes down to a base race, some pros want to be the carry who last hits the Nexus. Others, the split pusher who wants to win the 1v1. And then there are the players who run interference, just to say, I'm helping. In his game versus TSM, Santorin does everything in his power to make sure FlyQuest call would be the one that ends the game.
Wild Turtle is going
Not
down
again.
the inhibitor with him, and now FlyQuest tries to play the stop the back game.
Not
Zoe
again.
coming in from the side. Midi, Bjergsen, and Sven caught in a fight with Santorin. Keen now enters. The backing from Greg may make it in time.
Rim.
The
They're gonna
Nexus
do it.
Bird's going down again, Zyrene.
I'm gonna stop real quick here.
Okay.
Stop over here. Second. I think throw body.
Keep running.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop body.
Ez is gonna base.
Throw body.
Okay,
We can
through.
Oh. We can end game. Just hit.
I stopped jungle. I stopped jungle.
Hold on, use E. Yeah.
Keep hitting.
I can stop
Quick jungle. Hey,
Use E,
Keen
bro.
look. Keen look.
Yeah.
Over here. I'm gonna spin him this way. Nice, guys.
Super funny, they use E. Everyone's like, use E, because you get a small attack speed bonus at the end. But he saved it so he could kill Sven when he hit that TP in there. So hard to say if it was the right call or not, but really great decision overall by FlyQuest.
I love Zyrene because I feel like Zyrene in that moment is very much what everyone's thinking. He's verbalizing what everyone is thinking. Really? Again? Like, not again. Not
We
so
had
soon.
3 moments this weekend where it was like a team running at the Nexus with pretty much everyone on the other team alive.
For the end.
Out of 10.
It's spectacular,
30%
in all
of the
honesty. You know, at the beginning of the day, we talked about, you know, the confidence in certain teams who are sitting at the top of the table. FlyQuest did come away with that win today. 100 Thieves came away with a win today. Team Liquid came away with a win today. Do you feel through 6 weeks that the picture is becoming any more clear?
Yeah, it's a little bit clearer. The fact that we actually have teams with 66% win rates, it's a lot better than 60, right?
Right.
There were 4 teams at 6-4, and we have 3 teams at 8-4. So that means that at least the teams that were tied for first did break away a little bit, which is nice.
I would actually say that's true about the top of
2
the table.
teams at 8-4.
It's true about the top of the table, but you've actually lost clarity at the bottom. Whereas for a while, it was like, well, C9's the worst, and OpTic is 2-6. And now OpTic is all the way up to a 500 record.
Right.
C9 is surging. And so while, yes, the top half is starting to separate, the bottom, in compensation, has come a lot closer to the middle of the pack.
All right, well, there you have it. That's going to do it for week 6 of the LCS here at the Analyst Desk. And as we close out the weekend, let's toss it over to Freak for NALCS tonight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NALCS Tonight. I love this fancy jingle behind us. My name is David Frick-Turley. On the far side, Isaac Azale Cummings-Bentley, and the one and only Smoothie, Andy Ta. How you doing? Newly minted Echo Fox jersey. How's life?
I mean, life's all right. We lost today, but I'll take 1-1 for, you know, having 4 days of scrims.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you guys are in third right now. Third was Echo Fox's last finish. Feels like you're in a decent spot. You feel like the road forward is positive?
Yeah, for sure. Like, again, we've only had, like, a couple days of scrims, and they're really chaotic, but I feel like next week we're going to actually try a lot harder.
Sure. I mean, you guys had, like, super sick laning phases so far, like, both games. It feels like you and Lost are playing well together. Like, you've had, what, like, 5 days with him? Like, it's super fresh. That's really cool, though. So let's take a look at these standings after Week 6 has closed out. 12 games for every single team. As we mentioned, Echo Fox in third. 100 Thieves and Team Liquid top the roster. I mean, the top 3 from NALCS last split are still in the exact same spot. The rest, though, shaken up. Clutch Gaming alone in last, the 4th place finisher. A gigantic tie around 5th and 6th place. I mean, really crazy stuff here. Anything that, like, super shocks you looking at this summer split so far?
I mean, I don't know. Anything can happen right now. Like, this standings are so close. I thought Cloud9 would be just, like, hard stuck 10th for a while. But, like, you know.
Well, they benched you. How would you expect anything else?
I mean,
Should be straight down in his gutter. But, I mean, I've got to point out OpTic. So they're doing the 4-0 in their last 2 weeks, super good. And TSM, I think, is something like 1-5 in their last 6, or like 1-6 in their last 7. Like they're losing like all their games now, and on such a huge downward trend.
Yeah, they're in that big clump right above last place. Like, got a negative record there. So yeah, pretty rough stuff there. Either way, it is time for us to put our second support to the test on Scion Speedway, where we put our pros on a makeshift racetrack around Summoner's Rift. Smoothie, are you excited for Science Speedway?
I'm really excited. I practiced a little bit, so it's either gonna go really, really well or really awful. So.
Well, hopefully it goes really well. We need you to beat the European guys.
You have to beat Bowfrost.
You have to beat Bowfrost and also most of Europe. For those who need a reminder, Science Speedway pits our pros on a test as they drift around the racetrack all around the map. You can ult as many times as you want, but you have to stay in bounds. You cannot flash over walls. You can only use your summoner spells and active items once each. So Smoothie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Then get on up there. It is time for Science Speedway. And Echo Fox, I think takes like, what, number 2 right now? I think Hooney's right below Golden Glue.
Yeah, Hooney's right up there, I think.
Yeah.
He's pretty high up, but, you know, people like their correlation between like Scion practice and Scion skill hasn't always really panned out. Solo choked last week.
He did.
He's like the Scion main. He wanted to come on the show and do Scion Speedway, and
all right, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, on the word go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so ult's in, and he's going for the bottom. That is actually what I think what Golden Glue did previously as well. So that was that sort of bit over the top right here. Okay, a couple of walks over, and then turning it back around as he moves on over to this side of it. And he goes for that bottom side and loops around the corner. This is where pretty much everyone uses their actives to speed up.
Yeah, and I think really the hardest part is how you handle this corner, and then also getting through the target dummies and the corner up past the Baron pit. Those areas really are the most difficult, so we'll see if he hits any target dummies here.
And walk and then drift is pretty good.
And how he gets around this corner, I think is like one of the most important parts.
That was a bit more of a deep turn right there. So that probably lost
doing really well, though.
So, but yeah, this is actually pretty solid.
Oh.
Okay, one hit.
Oh, you hate to see it.
He's not going to win, but he'll still be a pretty good spot. Oh, no. Okay, with a quick redirect, that's actually not a bad run. So there's the hit.
Oh, man.
That was still solid, though.
That's
good. Top half for
sure. That was like 47-ish. So pretty good good
Disappointed,
stuff.
man. That was almost perfect.
Almost perfect.
For my
Almost
standards, for
perfect.
my standards, at
You
least.
choked at the end. You can come on over and join us here once again. It was a good run.
Yeah.
But we'll get the standings updated. We'll see where you ended up.
All right, not bad. It went a lot better than I initially thought.
Yeah.
I haven't played Scion in like 2 years, man.
It's like, it's like your weekend, basically. Good start. Ooh, and then finish.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, 101.
Getting too close to home.
He's in playoff spots anyway.
Okay, not bad.
All right, number 7.
You're still up there. That's
Yeah,
good.
below Caps and Odo, sadly, but
Yeah, I beat Zale.
Yeah,
That's the important part. See, I'm the benchmark
You're the
of
best of
skill.
the Canadians,
Okay,
actually, which
fair
is
enough.
great. Yeah, so at the top right there. But yeah, we got 3 Canadians in the top 10. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, we're pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the NA versus
No.
the Canada
NA gets
versus
bopped.
USA.
NA gets bopped for sure. I understand that. Or USA gets bopped,
USA
rather.
gets
Yeah.
bopped. It was free.
Canada's a better country. I can't lie. You know, props to you guys.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
They brought up the York today, just like I brought it on that show match.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how similar it all is. It's wonderful. Now, of course, next up, we're going to fill in the blank, bringing that segment back. We're going to do our best to figure out what goes in the blank from some Reddit comments of this week's matches. We'll be checking in with chat to see what you guys can figure out with this one as well. So the first fill in the blank is from user Drinkin' the Kool-Aid. Says, I honestly can't think of a more well-rounded top laner in North America than blank, and not the SKT jungler this split. Props to him showing up better than ever. Your questions and possible answers are Solo, Licorice, Someday, and Flame. Chat, you can, of course, chime in for you guys to discuss.
For me, I'm immediately not thinking Solo or Flame. I'm thinking Licorice or Someday. Those to me are the two who've been kind of having the best split. Flame has been kind of on a downward trend, and I don't feel like Solo's at the top. Someday I feel like a lot of people are talking about him as MVP, so I could see him, but Licorice has been popping off.
Licorice was having a really good split. Like, even when I play with him, he had really monstrous, like, really good stats. So, like, he's doing really well. So definitely want to be your C. Or
I'm
Licorice someday.
I'm gonna go Licorice just because I feel like all his best performances are most recent. So I feel like people might have been talking about him recently.
He's getting better like this week.
Yeah,
because
like
it's about this week's game.
Exactly.
Basically.
The last couple weeks he's been popping off.
Yeah, Cloud9 going 2-0 makes that pretty likely. Which one are you going to go for?
I'm going to go Licorice here.
All right, I would have thought Someday, just because I feel like Someday's actually been the best top laner this split one,
Yeah.
although I think your recency argument probably means the answer was really Licorice.
Yeah.
Chats, of course, between those two as well. Yeah, Solo and Flame got 3% each, which kind of what I expect. The answer is one of those two. I remember hearing, but I forget exactly. It wasn't Licorice.
Ooh, that's free. That's free. Canada 2, USA 0.
I mean, that counts as 1-0, I'm pretty sure.
No.
All right.
There's 2 people here.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys each count?
This is
All right.
easy math.
I'll hope for some double points this time around. Next up, user Alice Margatroyd claims blank and blank causing another TSM loss.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, who's causing TSM to lose?
This is a good one.
Yeah, you got to start, flaming your fellow NALCS pros.
Oh, I mean, I'm all friends with all of them, so it's gonna be hard. But I'm gonna say.
Oh, I think
No
I know where
offense.
you're going, Sven.
Yeah.
You're going.
No.
Okay.
I think Grig and Mithy, at least this week, have not had great engages.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch today's game too much because I was preparing for our game, but I think those two.
You know where I could actually see people going? Because there was a lot of people, the hate has started turning on to Bjergsen, I've seen recently. I've seen some Reddit threads being like, SKT subbed out Faker. Maybe TSM has to sub out Bjergsen, so maybe it's...
Nope.
it's Eternal Wild Turtle.
Eternal Wild Turtle.
What? Oh, man.
Because they lost the flag question.
I guess so. I didn't think about that. I thought there was something
baited us.
They actually baited us so hard.
Yeah.
It's actually my favorite kind of question. This actually, because we saw a thread about this like way back in week 1,
Yeah.
when it was Team Liquid versus Golden Guardians, and it was about Matt and Lorelo causing them to lose. Like, I want a segment for those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Like, that was the
man,
kinds of question I wanted.
Now
Was,
I'm the villain here,
was
dude.
the
Come on.
turnaround. No, I mean,
I just flamed people, man.
it's okay. You know, this is,
Merciless.
wow.
Well, you did too, though. So
This guy is just completely not nice at all. All right, so Canada's now 2-2. I didn't answer, so I mean, I went, you know, whatever. Either way, next up, user Logan.
-1, he didn't even try.
Yeah, I quit out of that one. I forfeited. Next user, Logan Gray. Flashing forward as an AD carry is an art and one of my guilty pleasures. If Blank keeps performing this well, then he's on his way to becoming my
I'm gonna say
AD
Lost.
carry.
No.
Turtle definitely lost sneaky.
I'm going to say definitely. Because Lost only has like 1 game or 2 games, I guess. And definitely's been playing pretty well this split. Like, you saw his 2v3 with Matt yesterday, I think?
Yeah,
you did really well.
He's been playing really well.
Yeah.
But I'm just immediately when I heard flashing forward, I was thinking of the game yesterday, him flashing forward on Varus, and then you kind of picking him up. There was a couple times where he flashed forward on Varus, and he was playing pretty aggressive. He was in there.
But there's Turtle, who is known for flashing
Yeah,
forward.
he's famous for it.
And they're doing well, right?
But again, I'm thinking recency because it's this weekend on Reddit, and I'm like, who did I see flashing forward? I immediately thought of Lost, so I'm going with Lost.
Damn, actually, you're right. I didn't
Wow.
read that well enough.
Your own teammate, and you're like, it's not this guy.
No,
He's
but
not-
like, okay, if it's this weekend.
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
literally
Okay,
about these
okay,
games
okay.
weeks.
Yeah.
Or
Then
these
It's Reddit threads
teams.
from this weekend.
Then yes,
yeah.
Lost. For sure.
Okay, 100% lost.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go along with you. Actually, I had them add Wild Turtle as one of the options because he's known for flashing forward.
Yeah.
I baited Twitch chat, haha, outsmarted, bigger brain than you guys. Yeah.
I gotta read this question.
4
back.
points for Canada.
Yeah, I mean, points for me too, though. And I baited Twitch
But
chat.
you're at -1, so now you're at 0 again.
Okay, cool. Congrats. You guys are at +1 each because you got the last one wrong. So I guess we're okay.
There's no negatives over here.
How?
We tried.
What the hell?
We got participation ribbons. You
Guessing
didn't even
things.
try.
Holy moly. And I get losing points for
Yeah.
participating in the first question.
Yeah.
Okay, these cheeky guys. Next up, user Snafu585 congratulates Eugene Powelter Park with the blank IQ shockwave to get his blank kill. I wonder what those numbers would be.
I wonder.
Okay, well, he
IQ
got his
associated with
1,000th. He got his
Pobelter.
1,000th kill. So
Yeah.
it's his 1,000th kill.
Yeah.
I feel
How much
like,
IQ though for
I feel like
Pob, though?
300 IQ is the Pobelter meme.
300? Is it?
I
That's
think
200, isn't it?
200.
200, but then
What?
but
No.
I feel like it's like people are like, you know,
You have
it's
to
even,
inflate
it's
the
even
numbers.
smarter.
It's like an over 9,000
200
IQ
is
player.
like he just does anything. People call it 200 IQ.
I
So I'm
guess.
feeling like it's 300, but maybe it is just the.
I mean, he just
standard
like killed a
meme.
guy under like Nexus turrets. Like it wasn't even special.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
get half
okay,
credit,
okay.
dog.
All right.
Yeah, Smoothie knows what's
That's
up.
the name.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep
Another
up.
2 points for Canada.
I'm ahead of you. Oh my. They're cheating. They're cheating.
I mean, I think we've clearly established.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
It's a
We're doing
democracy.
good.
You only win because of cheating. Like, you guys bring in like Huni and crap and like, oh, he's Canadian now. Like, it's insane. Throughout the weekend, you
Free.
took to Twitter to praise the insane, awesome, impressive, amazing, magnificent, eye-popping, phenomenal, majestic, prodigious, miraculous, superhuman plays from the week on Twitter. We decided to pull up some of our favorites brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, future Ghost Cop aspires to be a Matt on the rise, seeing his fiddlesticks play.
I'm here. I eat now?
Yeah.
We're going hammer, guys. We're going hammer.
He's
He's no flash. He's no flash.
Play around my turrets.
Kill Brom, kill Brom.
Yeah, kill Brom.
Nice. Go enough.
I'm going Varus. Varus
No,
one
I
HP.
can't. Yo, help.
Yeah.
We got him. You guys can kill
I
him.
got him.
Let's
Yo, maybe I can get the Varus if he's...
can go down. Okay.
Maybe if he's done.
You guys are nuts.
Oh my god!
Good job. Good job. Let's stay calm, okay?
As someone who has to play against fiddle support, the fact that it bounces into Fog of War, very tilting.
Yeah, man, that's a tilter. Actually, I didn't see the last kill on double lift.
So, question: lazy recall or sick play from Matt? Ooh, that's a lazy recall. That's hesitation. That's a lazy recall.
He doesn't want to flame, he's too nice.
Lazy, I guess it's a lazy recall, but like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect to get hit by a crow there, you know, like.
He's a full screen
I'm like,
away,
yeah, a whole screen away in fog. Like,
Yeah.
that's messed up, man.
Yeah.
The ability's messed up. It's getting nerfed next patch. I'm happy about that. Next up, then in his game versus OpTic, rather, Mickey kept on walking away with a sliver of health, but never quite went down. We talked about this one over the screen. I mean, he had like 40-something thousand damage taken before ever dying the first time. That guy consistently getting away.
Yeah, it was actually pretty crazy. You know, they said the previous record was like 19K or so that High had taken without dying. He took 46,000 or whatever it was damage without dying on LeBlanc. So playing it very well. Unfortunately, he did die at the very end and they lost. So it's unlucky.
That's pretty unfortunate. I didn't get to see this game. I saw like the first 20 minutes and then, yeah, I do like other stuff, but yeah, that's pretty insane.
Then it went for another half an hour.
Yeah, and LeBlanc, I feel like the LeBlanc passive is so frustrating to deal with because it kind of gives them that little moment of like, you know, invulnerability where you can't see them, they can kind of get away, and Mickey played it really, really well. Like the best LeBlanc players can play so aggressively and feel like they're still always getting away.
You gotta play Lee Sin as a soft counter. The Q actually reveals, or you like yellow on the E, then you know which one he's going to.
Ooh.
So any of the champions with like actual hard reveals in the kit?
Fiddlesticks. His W is a reveal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you
Cleddy is also a reveal.
Is it?
Really?
Yep.
Through
Very few people know that. You could slam Wukong because he goes invis, but you still see him.
All right, that's how you kill him. Good to
Yep.
know. Thanks, Azale.
Yep.
Appreciate the keen insight. Now, finally, Irvin wasn't surprised Welter hit his 1,000th kill. Just a typical play from a 200 IQ and a mid laner. See, he knows the meme.
To get some attention now. Incoming from Ole, the hit comes in. There is the 1,000th career kill for Pole Belter.
come on. 우리 나이스 야지를. 타겟. 1,000 kill.
Nice. I like how his team knew as well. Like they're waiting to count up to 1.
Yeah, I mean, he only needed 1 kill and he had 0 kills in the game, so it's not like difficult math to do.
Yeah,
there, I think.
already winning.
It's like they're like, well, if you carried the 3, and but it's pretty sick. Congrats to him. He's been around for a long time and still playing at a really high level.
Yeah. When's your 1,000th kill coming in?
4 years, give or take.
4 years?
Yeah.
Thousands of assists. Do you have 1,000 assists? How many assists? do you
Easily
have?
He's got to easily have
Yeah,
more.
assists are pretty easy.
Assists
It's super
free.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
supports don't count.
Yeah.
But start playing Brand every game. Tell your teammates, like, guys, lost, you know, you're going to play some Braum for me. I'm going to take the farm.
I mean, I literally I took all the kills today from my
I saw that,
carries.
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Like
Perfect.
4 kills
I
on
saw you
Braum.
flash Q when he's like already shooting piercing arrow.
I mean,
I understand.
it's,
Kill steal.
it's sneaky too, you know. I
Yeah, no, you have
I
to
gotta
be
do
that
it.
guy.
Asserting your dominance.
Yeah.
Asserting your
I mean,
dominance.
Sneaky and Lane really showed through today. I mean, you guys actually bashed them. Yeah, I like that. See, and it wasn't the smoothie. It was all Sneaky and Lane. Now make sure you keep tweeting your favorite plays all season long using the hashtag NALCS. We'll keep up with all of you. Now, next up is opportunity for fans at home to have their questions answered. Now, earlier in the show, we asked you to submit your queries, and we pulled some of our favorites. Our first question from Rap God Mata to Smoothie. Top 3 bot lanes right now. Please include yourself and Lost if you feel you deserve it, and why.
Well, this is a really hard question. I don't think any bot lane has secured themselves the title of the best bot lane in this split. It's really hard to say. I'd say the most consistent ones are probably Afro and Cody at this point. If Hakuho and Paulo were playing this weekend, I'd probably say them. Like, they're pretty consistent as well. But outside of those guys, can't really say there's like a really, really insane bot lane right now. Like, they're all just do the job, you know?
It's pretty interesting, though, that you call out, you know, Hakuo and Apollo, and they've been subbed out for their academy team. So, like, what do you think about that? Were you pretty surprised?
Well, I was pretty surprised at first, but I saw, like, Sebastian Park's Twitter, and he was saying that it wasn't for, like, performance or anything. It was just to, like, give Vulcan Piglet a shot, and they're playing well in scrims. So, I mean, understandable. Been there, done that, you know?
Yeah, playing well in scrim.
You're on the unlucky end of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, of course, no more roster moves for any of these teams overall. Now, part 2 from Rap God Mata is to the casters, so me and Azale. How do you know when to make announcements / which announcements to make while on a live broadcast?
I don't know exactly what announcements he means. Maybe... I'm not sure really what he's referring to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like going for 1,000 kill, like obviously like that's coming up. If you're like talking about roster moves or what, you know, like
those sort of things, like a lot of it is like pre-prepped, right? Like we talk about like, you know, things, oh, okay, Pobelter could get 1,000 kills this game. Oh, we're going to talk about these roster moves that Clutch has made because there's a roster deadline where they have to submit their changes, and we know about that on whatever it is, like Friday at X time and those sorts of things. So a lot of that stuff is just like we have planned in advance to talk about it. And whatever we think the community is going to be like most interested in or most excited about, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was going to key off is generally speaking, like all we're going to try to do is bring up whatever topic is most relevant to the game or most exciting to hear about or most exciting to talk about. And if it's like, oh, Smoothie's here on Knuckle Fox, that's super sick. By the way, they traded him 4 days ago, and here's this quote from their coach or whatever. Like, that's a topic that we talk about, of course, and everything else. So that's kind of the general rule of thumb. Hopefully that answered it well for you. Our third question is from @Bartos_Trams, and it says, what's your favorite smoothie flavor?
You know, you think I would know this like by heart, but like I don't really have a great answer. Like, it kind of changes month by month. Right now, it's probably like strawberry banana. pretty basic.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
good.
Actually, I feel like Banana's actually just really good in smoothies in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like,
can
I don't
pretty much
actually
throw
like-
banana in like any smoothie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be quality.
Probably some weird ones like avocado banana, maybe.
Yeah, that might be kind of random, but like chocolate banana, you
Yeah.
can throw
Yeah,
banana
yeah.
in
You
with
can't go
like
wrong.
mangoes and all kinds of stuff, apples, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the green machine a lot here. We have our
Yeah, it's
smoothie
like
bar.
very like plant-based.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
like kale and stuff in there.
Yeah, it's good.
It's actually pretty delicious. Yeah, surprisingly, like stuff made out of spinach is actually pretty good.
Yep.
It's
So
crazy.
you hide those vegetables. That's how you
Yeah,
get them
you
in.
hide them
Yeah,
inside with like a bunch of
yeah,
apple juice.
exactly.
Good strat.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Now, next and lastly, at Stack for the Caddy asks, what's the mentality like in Academy? Are the players really focused on winning, or is it more to improve and try to make it to a full LCS squad?
I guess it's hard to say because on Cloud9 Academy, when I was playing with them, they all tried really hard. They all wanted to, you know, at least prove to the LCS team that they deserve their spot. Obviously, we were doing like 10-man swaps, and if you're gonna do that, then yeah, they're gonna try super hard for their spot, right? So I'm not sure about other teams. Like some other teams probably just like, you know, having some fun. You know, it's very possible. So I don't know what to say about those guys, but yeah, for my experience, people try pretty hard in Academy.
And you were on the best Academy team, right? Like C9 is at
They're
the
going to
top.
Academy
the
Worlds.
Equifox Academy team is 2-10, right? Like, so it's obviously like going to depend on the team, depend on the players, depend on all situations.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting. There's been like a pretty interestingly high amount of Academy promotions. Like again, the C9 one, of course, you were a part of, and everyone's kind of talked that one to death. But right, we saw the Clutch one come up. Like we've seen a lot of players switch back and forth. I think it's been really interesting. Someone told me on Twitter, everyone except TSM and CLG has switched players at some point. This split, which is actually like really like from day one, they've brought someone up and down from Academy.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty nuts. So that was kind of cool to see. Hopefully that is working well for teams. Now, before we sign off for the weekend, let's take a look at next week's schedule presented by Jersey Mike's. It's going to be a very fun one. We're working down to the last 3 weeks of the regular season. 6 games left to go. You can see your third game right here, Equifox taking on Counter Logic Gaming. Yeah, going to be a fun one, of course, as well. But Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, a battle at first, starting off the day as well. Anything to look out exciting to you, other than, of course, your team picking up another win?
Well, I mean, I think our games next week's gonna be pretty hard. Like CLG's been on the upswing lately. In terms of general performance, did they go 2-0 this week, or did they win?
I think they dropped one. They might have
Won
dropped 2 because they were in a group tied for first. Now
CLG
they're
has
5
lost
and
a bunch
7.
in a row.
Yeah, they're actually
they've
been really
lost
poor
like
the last couple
4 in
weeks.
a row
Oh,
or
the Clifton
something
game.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were winning. Like the early
Yeah,
games are super sick.
Yeah, First Blood King Reignover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing pretty well, so it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I think they've missed 2 First Bloods as a team across 12 games.
I'm actually pretty excited about OpTic FlyQuest, which is not something I thought I'd really be saying, but it's
Yeah.
like they have both improved a lot. I mean, JJ, since he's joined the team, I think they're 6-2.
6-2.
OpTic has won 4 in a row. Like, those are some good ass records. Like, they are obviously really strong teams right now, and I'm kind of excited to see, like, are they actually real contenders, or are they going to kind of turn back into a pumpkin?
Yeah, and of course 3 of the prior LCS winners in Cloud9, TSM, and CLG are all down in like 6th/9th, like at the bottom right there. Right? It's like they're all 1 game away from 10th. Like that's actually insane that like these teams were super sick and have like really had stumbles. So I think all those games are really worth watching. That's going to do it for us here tonight on NALCS Tonight. Thanks again, Smoothie, for joining us on the show. And now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for more NALCS Tonight.
It was a good outro. We'll give you a couple points.
I appreciate that. I'm tied with Canada. We're back.
You're still way behind.
No.
You're pretty behind us.
We are about to get into this TSM versus FlyQuest game. A lot of them said TSM. The fans are thinking FlyQuest, and I think it's going to be a very, very close game. Right here, Spider of the Week, flash over the wall, gets the slow on immediately. They stop Greg in his tracks.
This is gonna be. Throw by. Okay, oh, we can
Make it time. They're going to do it. It's going down. Again, Zyrene. 5-4. They look to be 7-5 in the summer split. FlyQuest on your line. Slicing Maelstrom. Slices TSM down. And FlyQuest push through the base for the win.
This is my homie. His name is Alfred.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Wait, where?
Are you
Where's
good with settings?
Alfred's over here.
yeah,
Oh my
good.
god, Alfred.
He literally just sits on top of the rock and watches me lane kingdom people all day. This guy's insane. I love this moose.
He's going to have a taunt on him. A double taunt. Anna's going down for first blood. Aframu's going to be taken down as he's turned into a pin cushion. And now it's going to be Cody's son.
There we go. Kill the Close is dead. Wait. Go. And then the flash. Can we get this guy? I'm ulti. Go. No flash. Nice.
Double lift going low. Vulcan taking turret shots. One last hit. The minions are going to take him down.
Kill him. Hey, W. Yeah. Kill him. 아지라.
알지. 킬 알지. 킬 턴드. We can better.
I'm gonna shield you, Jake.
Hey, just balance. Incoming from Ole. The hit comes in. There is the 1,000th career kill for Pole Belter.
1,000 kill!
The Canadian tries to get the pick up, but can't quite grab it. Contract stays alive, but he can't quite kill Big. Power Removal, that's the kill they want. Matt will finally take him down. And
I'm heading.
I got Maybe a bit greedy from Licorice, could try and take down Hooney, wants to get it, but the pullback in Adano claims yet another kill. Now bot side Zazel, low, goes down to Smoothie.
Look at Lost.
Oh, I'm looking. I'm gonna get one shot.
Look Smoothie.
Smoothie's dead. Lost is 1 HP.
Look at Hooney.
Oh, Demonte gets hooked over, he's gonna try and take down Zazel, but it's actually not gonna happen. Demonte falls. Licorice chasing in, now they're gonna take down Hooney. Dada can't really do anything. Cloud9 gonna do it one win at a time.